we will discuss about electric flux and Gauss law. What is electric flux? Electric flux, it is defined as the number of electric lines of force. It is defined as the number of electric lines of force passing through a surface. Surface. Okay. So let us consider the surface. Suppose ds is the small element area. This is the direction of electric field intensity, and okay. So let us consider a surface area S placed in a uniform electric field E. Placed in a uniform electric field E. If ds with a small element area ds with the small element area, then electric flux d by E through the surface is given by through the surface is given by d phi equal to this law. Okay. Then through the small surface, the electric flux is given by E dot ds. Then the total electric flux to the entire surface, then the total electric flux to the entire surface is given by is given by E equal to so integration up to and the total entire electric flux to the entire surface is given by pi equal to this much. তারপর আমরা দেখিয়া gauss law. So gauss law କ'ଣ କହୁଛି? It states that for any distribution of charge, charges the total electric flux linked with a closed surface is 1 by epsilon 0 times the total charge enclosed within the surface. Okay, that is pi E equal to Q by epsilon 0. Okay. Where pi A is the electric flux linked with the surface, and Q is the amount of charge okay, but we know that pi E equal to rotation up to E dot ds. Okay, where over the entire closed surface. Where E dot ds is the surface integral of electric field over the entire closed surface enclosing the charge q. Enclosing the charge q. Okay. So এটা କେତେ ଆସିଲା ଆମର? So ଏଟା ତ ଆମେ equation 1 ଦିଅ ଏଟାକୁ এটা তো আমি equation 2. So from equation 1 and 2. So from equation 1 and 2 କେତେ ଆସିଲା? Integration of E dot ds equal to q by epsilon 0. Okay, so this is your Gauss law. Hence Gauss law may also be stated as the surface integral of electric field over a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the net charge enclosed by the surface. The net charge enclosed right. So hence Gauss law can also be stated as the surface integral of electric field over a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the net charge enclosed by the surface. Okay. Now we will prove the Gauss law. So then proof of Gauss law. Proof of Gauss law. Okay. Suppose this is a closed surface enclosing a charge q. Okay. Plus q. This is the direction of electric field E, and this is the direction of surface element, okay, ds. So consider a single point charge plus Q single point charge located at point O. Yeah. Imagine a sphere. Okay, imagine a sphere which is the Gaussian surface. No, the charge enclosed by the surface is the Gaussian surface. Imagine a sphere of radius r radius r drawn in space concentric with point charge plus Q. Concentric with okay. So if the charge plus Q is placed at point O at the center, then the magnitude of E is same at every point on the surface. And since it is the positive charge, E is always directed radially outward. Okay, so we know that the magnitude of E is the same value at every point on the surface at any point on the surface further E is directed radially outward from the charge. Okay, now consider a small element area ds on the surface and E is parallel to ds. Okay, now consider a small element area ds on the surface and it is clear that E is parallel to ds, that is angle between E and ds is 0. Therefore, electric flux passing through the closed surface by E equal to E dot ds. Okay, since E and ds are parallel to each other, that is angle between them is 0. Equal to this la integration of E ds cos 0. So cos 0 equal to 1 equal to integration of E into ds. Okay, since magnitude of E is constant over the considered Gaussian surface. Okay, since E is constant over the surface, so it can be taken out of the integral. Okay, it will take out of the integral. It can be taken out of that is pi E equal to this E into ds. Okay, we know that E equal to 1 by 4 epsilon q by u square. Now E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 and equal to 4 phi r square per sphere. Okay. Therefore pi equal to this 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q by r square into integration of d बस बदल हम कितने पकड़ा 4 pi r square. Okay, so कहता है सो 4 pi cancel, r square cancel, बदला q by epsilon 0. Okay, So this is your Gauss law. Total electric flux linked with the closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the total charge enclosed within the surface. This is your proof of Gauss law. Okay. So suppose within the surface there are n number of point charges are enclosed. Okay. There is a short note of Gauss law. If there are n point charges Q1, Q2 up to Qn lying inside this sphere, then according to superposition principle, each charge will contribute to electric flux independent of others. So total electric flux due to all the charges, that is total electric flux linked with the total electric flux due to all the charges linked with the surface is given by phi b equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 up to phi n. Okay. So phi 1, phi 2, phi n are the electric flux due to charge Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn enclosed within the surface. So according to Gauss law, phi 1 equal to Q1 by epsilon 0 plus Q2 by 0 up to Q1 by epsilon 0. Okay, equal to 1 by epsilon 0 into Q1 plus Q2 to Q1. Okay. So this is equal to total charge Q by epsilon 0. Where Q equal to summation over I equal to 1 to n Qi. Okay. Algebraic sum of charges located inside the closed surface. Okay. So this is your Gauss law. So what is Gauss law? The total electric flux linked with the closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times the total charge enclosed within the surface. If there are number of charge particles Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn are enclosed within the surface, then total electric flux linked with the closed surface is given by phi equal to phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 up to phi n. Okay, where phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 are the electric flux due to charges Q1, Q2, Q3 up to Qn enclosed within the surface. So total electric flux due to all the charges that are enclosed within the surface, phi equal to phi 1 plus phi 2 plus phi n, where phi 1 equal to Q1 by epsilon 0 according to Gauss law, phi 2 equal to Q2 by epsilon 0 up to phi n equal to Q1 by epsilon 0. So we will take 1 by epsilon 0 as common to all the terms. So the remaining term will be 1 by epsilon 0 into Q1 plus Q2 up to Q1. Okay. So Q1 plus Q2 plus Q1 equal to Q, total charge, where Q equal to summation over I equal to 1 to n Qi, algebraic sum of charges located inside the closed surface. Okay. This is a proof of Gauss law, which is very important long question.